guys, welcome to another video of Study Scoopers. So I'm again back with a new video, and please guys, please before we start, please make sure that you subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon so that you're always notified with my new videos I make. So today we'll be learning about the fundamental rights of the chapter, the Indian Constitution and its need, which is going to be the part 4, which will give us what is fundamental rights. So let's begin. So, fundamental rights. So, what are rights? Rights are entitled to perform certain actions or to be in certain states or not to perform certain actions and not to be in certain states. So, rights are entitled because it gives you the right to perform certain actions. But there are even restrictions in some actions. There are even some restrictions. So this is only this is only rights, okay? And these rights are only known as fundamental rights, and this is because of two reasons. Why is it so? Because it is in our constitution, right? So it should be in somewhere in our constitution. So it is in our part 3 of our constitution. It is protected in the part 3 of our constitution. And the second reason of why these are known as fundamental rights is that they are justiciable. In case of a violation, a person can move to a court of law for remedy. Okay, this point tells us that these are known as fundamental rights because in a case of a person is in some violation or something, a person can move for law if they need a remedy for it. Okay, so this is what the fundamental right says is. This is what the fundamental right is known as fundamental right. So fundamental rights are for every Indian citizens without considering the faith, caste, sex, or religion. Okay. Now, fundamental rights is from Article 12 to Article 35, which is contained in our Part 3 of our Constitution. Okay. So, there are 6 types of fundamental rights, which is right to equality, right to freedom, right against exploitation, right to freedom of religion, cultural and educational rights, and right to constitutional remedies. So, we will be learning all the 6 types of rights today in our video. So, let's begin. Right to equality, which is from Article 14 to Article 18. Right to equality says us that all the citizens are equal before the law. It is the prohibition of discrimination on ground of of religion, race, caste, gender, or place of birth. So this is the prohibition of discrimination on ground of a caste, race, religion, gender, or birthplace. And equality of opportunity in matters of education and employment. The weaker section has some privilege to get reservation of seat in school, colleges, and for employment. This point says is that the law is telling us that everyone in our society are equal, which tells us that even the peoples who are the weaker section people, the poor section, they are also getting opportunity to get admissions in education, like to get the smaller kids are getting the opportunity to get admission in schools, the government schools and the government colleges, and this is a privilege for the weaker section. So that is what it says, that all are equal before the law. And this even is the abolition of untouchability. What is untouchability? It is the discrimination of peoples on the ground of religion, race, caste, gender, or place of birth. So these all should be abolished. Okay. and the abolishing of titles. So in earlier in British ruling times, so all the peoples were given titles like Rai Bahadur and other were provided. But now only the military peoples and the academic peoples are now acceptable. Military such as they call them major or captain, and academic such as doctors and etc. Okay, so this is right to equality. And the next fundamental right was the right to freedom, which is from Article 19 to Article 22. And there are six different freedoms to promote the ideal of liberty. So those are, the first one is to freedom of speech and expression. This point says is that you are free to express your points about the government or anything good about anything. You can you're free to do it, you're free to express it, the speech or anything. So this is the to freedom of speech and expression. The next is to assemble peacefully and without arms, which is you could assemble peacefully with a group of people without arms. The third one is to form associations or unions. So the third one is like you form group, associations, unions in which you tell about your views about the thing, whatever you're talking, the point which is there, and you could tell anything about it, good or bad, no one will stop you. So this is for, to form associations or unions. And the fourth is the to move freely throughout the territory of India. So this point says is that you're free to move any part of India in the territory of India. For example, if you're going from one place to another by train, so when you go from one place to another, in between, no one will stop you and ask you for your visa, passport, and etc. Because you're moving from a India's territory. So there is you're free to do it. So you're free to move it. And the next is to reside and settle in any part of the territory of India. So the thing is that at this point says that you are even free to reside or settle in any part of India. Like if you are staying in Gujarat, now you could even stay in any other part of India, which could be like you could even settle in Assam. There is no restriction on it, but you will only be settling with some formalities given by the peoples over there. Okay, so this is to reside and settle in any part of the territory of India. And the next is to practice any profession or to carry on any occupation, trade, or business. So that even if you move from one place to another, you in the territory of India, you are allowed to practice your profession, whichever you are doing, and by or carrying any occupation, trade, or business. So these are the six freedom to promote the ideal of our of our liberty. Okay, and this is the continuation. And one more thing is that the right to free and compulsory education for all the children between the age of 6 to 14 years. This we would have understood that it is compulsory education for all the children between 6 to 14 years of age. And this tells us in the Article 21A. And protect us against injustice. No citizens can be punished without being proved guilty in the court. Neither can anyone can punish for the same offense twice. This point says is that no citizen will be punished if they are innocent. Only if they are guilty, they will be punished. If they are innocent, they will not be punished. And so that you could fight for your justice. If you are innocent, you could fight for your justice in the court. So this point says is that right to freedom. And if you are you cannot be punished for anything in the same offense twice. And right to freedom does not means free to do anything. Freedom resembles does not mean you can create problems for others. This says us that right to freedom is you are free, okay, but you have to be in your limits. You cannot create problems for others, okay. So this is like you are in a society, so now you have to respect the other peoples also in your society. You cannot create problems for other peoples in your society. So you have to be this is to maintain the brotherhood in your society. So this is right to freedom, and right freedom has provided with restrictions. And let's take an example for right to freedom. So, if your parents have given you freedom to go to a birthday party at your friend's house, it doesn't mean that you can come back to home at any time. Parents will keep some restrictions to return within some time. This is required to maintain the family harmony and culture, and also teach a moral to you. Same way, the government can impose restrictions on the freedom of speech, as it does not mean to abuse someone. Have some limitations and expressions in the interest of integrity, security, and sovereignty of the country for public order, with respect to defamation. This was an example to tell you that freedom does not means that you could be without any restrictions. There are some restrictions which you have to follow even when you are when you have the right to freedom. So our next fundamental right is the right against exploitation, which is from Article 23 to Article 24. It prohibits all forms of forced child labor. This is right against exploitation is no child is allowed to work. It prohibits human trafficking, buying and selling of humans. It also prohibits employing of children below age of 14. So as I said in this point, no child is allowed to work. So the child below 14 years of age is not allowed to work. This is a child working which have to be stopped. Okay, for saying when you see someone below 14 years of age, like when you see a small kid working, you shouldn't allow them to work. You have to convey them the fundamental rights and the right against exploitation to that child, that you are allowed to study. You have the right to study. So you have to go and study. You are not allowed to do these works. So you have to tell them for stopping this force of child labor. Right to freedom of religion, Article 25 to Article 28. This is that India is defined as a secular country. It implies all the religions is equal before the law. And it includes freedom to practice and propagation of religion, freedom to manage religious affairs. So this says is that you could follow any religion, and religion is equal before the law. So you're allowed to follow the religion which you're following. There is no one to stop you for it. Culture and educational rights, Article 29 and Article 30. So while having the educational rights, the culture is also we need to teach to each and every human. For this only we are having cultural values also in our everyday life. So that is why we even have cultural and educational rights in our fundamental rights. India is a country of unity in diversity. Peoples in our country belong to diverse cultures and speak different languages. If you go from any part of north to south or east to west, you find many peoples are talking in different languages, and this is their culture. that they are speaking different languages. This is their culture. So no one is allowed to stop this culture. This is only cultural and educational rights. And preserve the right of any section of citizen to conserve their cultural language or script. Right of communities to establish educational institution of their choice. So it is also the right to any communities so that they could establish the educational institution of their choice they would like. So culture, it promotes the faith, language, religion or custom, respect and food in a human. So culture is, that is why, very important. Now, last but not the least, we have a last fundamental right, which is the right to constitutional remedies, which is from Article 32 to Article 35. This is the safeguard of our fundamental rights. In some occasion, government may violate our fundamental rights. Right to constitutional remedies protects our fundamental rights. A citizen can file a lawsuit against the government in High Court and Supreme Court. This law possesses the power to uphold the fundamental rights of a citizen by issuing a right or an order. So, right to constitutional remedies uh, is made to protect our fundamental rights, which is that if the government misuses our fundamental rights, if it breaks the fundamental rights, then a citizen, it could be anyone, they could go to the law, they could file a case at the law in the law against the government in the High Court or in the Supreme Court, and they so the court will be issuing a order for it. Okay, so this is the right to constitutional remedies. So these were our 6 fundamental rights, which is very important for us. So this was the end of our part 4 of our Indian Constitution and its need. And click here so that you could subscribe to our channel. Thank you for your subscribing. Please do like to this video. Please comment down your feedback about this video and do share this with your friends. Now press the bell icon so that you are always notified once a new video is uploaded. Thanks a lot for watching this video and keep watching Study Scoopers.